Michelle Miller, and I am here to make some kamut bread with my bread maker. Oh gosh, my bread maker is somewhere around here. Anyway, so the reason that I am doing this is because I tried to get some bread off of the shelves at the grocery store, but there was none left. So I said, why not make my own? So what's the first thing I did? Got my new bread maker, Hamilton Beach. And then I looked for some recipes for bread. I didn't want to make regular bread. I wanted to make kamut bread, which is alkaline based. And so I found a recipe, a lady named Angie IC, and she didn't have a video for it, and I couldn't find a video for kamut bread using the bread machine. So I decided to make my own. Here it goes. So we've got some main ingredients. We've got 4 cups of kamut flour. We've got 1/2 tablespoons of xanthan gum. This is right here. It's very important because it holds the bread together while you're trying to cut it once it's made. And you'll find the difference when you don't make it. You'll know why it crumbled up. Anyway, so there's 3 tablespoons of olive oil. There is a 1/4 teaspoon of honey, 1 1/2 cups of water, 3 teaspoons of active dry yeast, and 2 teaspoons of salt. So with that said, let's get started. Oh yeah, visit me on my YouTube, which is I Am Michelle, or you can visit me at Love in HIV, or you can visit me on my Instagram at Michelle Miller, MECHEL, or subscribe here so you can get the rest of the recipe. Okay, so I'm back and combining the first 3 dry ingredients together, which is the flour, the salt, and the xanthan gum. And I'm gonna mix them together here in my mixing bowl, right? And so once I mix them all together, then I can add the ingredients to my bread maker, right here. So this right here has a kneader that you put in, and you make sure that the arrow side is pointed up. It's my first time using it, so this is gonna be great. And then you put the ingredients in. So the first thing that you put is you add the liquid ingredients first at the bottom. Then you add the dry ingredients. So the liquid ingredients is gonna be our water and our honey and our olive oil. The dry ingredients is gonna be the flour, the salt, and the xanthan. So here goes. Okay, so we're gonna put the wet ingredients in first. And so that is the water, which is the 1 1/2 cups of water. Putting them into our bread maker. 1 1/2 cup. These are my wet ingredients. And then there's the oil. Drop that right on in. And then my all-time favorite, the honey. So I'm gonna put the honey in like so. Oh, and it's in there. Where's my we want to make sure we get as much of it in as we can. Right. So there it is. And then next we add our dry ingredients. Hold on. Okay. So we put it in there and it looks like that. So it's all in there. And then we take the dry ingredients and we pour them on top of that inside of our bread maker. Like so. It's all in there, making sure that there's no wet stuff coming out, because I have to put the yeast in, right? The yeast goes on top. We make this little bitty hole. Hopefully you guys can see. Make this little bitty hole. Uh-oh. Yep. At the top so that nothing is coming through. We're gonna put the yeast right on top in the little hole that I made. And I don't think they can see that little hole. Yep. And if I dip it Okay, so the little hole is right here. Make sure none of the liquid touches it, because that'll mess with the rising. So the yeast goes on top like so. Then next, all you have to do is turn on your settings. So give me a moment. So again, I told you that this is the Hamilton, right? So I put all of my stuff in here already, my ingredients. And when you put this this bread container in here, there is a side for lock and unlock. For lock and unlock. And so it's a little fuzzy. And so there it is. Yep. So for lock and unlock. So you have to put this thing in here like this. And the way you know that it's ready is when it locks. So you'll hear the snap. Of course. So it just snapped, right? So I turned it to the lock side, which is to the right. And then from there, then you have to set your cycles. So you first turn it on. I'm gonna do cycle 3 because this is gluten-free bread. And so I'm gonna turn it on. Ooh, ooh, cycle 3. Okay, put it on pause. Stuff happens, right? So I put it on cycle 3. And then my crust, I like medium crust. So I'm gonna change it to medium over here. And then my loaf size, which is 2 pounds. So there's a 1/2 pound and then there's a 2 pound. Then you close the lid like so, and you press the start button. Boom. That's it. You let it go. So this is gonna take 3 hours and 40 minutes. And what does that mean? Am I gonna wait for 3 hours and 40 minutes? Oh, actually, yeah, because it has to rise and do all of that other good stuff. So we'll come back later to get to see what that looks like. Okay?